Sitting at a little over 5,000 pounds with double over double bunks, a campside dinette, and a sofa? Folks, this is the Pioneer BH250. Let's dive in. And here we are, folks, the campside dinette in the 2021 Pioneer BH250. This is something I always talk about when I do reviews because this is something that is important to me. It's something I enjoy. And the reason I like a campside dinette is because when I'm sitting here having my breakfast, my morning cup of coffee, I get to look out to my campsite. Maybe, I'm in here just playing card games and the kids are sitting out by the campfire. Again, I have a solid view to them. So I really appreciate it when manufacturers are able to do this. Now, as you will see, I'm a pretty decent sized guy. I sit at over 200 pounds, and there's plenty of room for 4 people in this dinette. So that way everyone can kind of, sit here, have a meal together, play a game together, just kind of have that family bonding time. This also is a pretty large dinette. You can see how much space I have between my torso and the table. And so when you drop this down, it's actually a pretty good sleeping space. As a 6-foot adult, I have to curl up just a tiny bit to be able to sleep here. But, if you're a little bit shorter than that, you can actually sleep an adult at this dinette, which is pretty stellar if you're looking for that additional sleeping space. If you take a look right down underneath, you will see the electrical outlets. If you need to plug anything in, that's the place to do it, which is great if you're doing some work on the road. Storage all across the top with the frosted glass. Of course, light underneath, and as I mentioned, you have that big window right there looking out to the campsite. You have your stereo system there that is Bluetooth capable, also TV hookups. You'll see that you can mount it right there on the back. So if you do want a TV in here, that's the place to put it. And it will make sense in just a moment because as you'll see, not only do you have a view from one side of the dinette, but also a great view from the sofa, which as I mentioned, we'll look at in just a little bit. Now, one of the things you'll also notice, folks, is the space right here is I'm moving through. This unit doesn't have any slides. Now, the big advantage to that is that if you need to pull over on the side of the road, you can absolutely access the fridge, the freezer, the bathroom, and everything. There's no slides to contend with. You need to pull over and take a nap. You can, go right up front into the bedroom as well. And of course, it also helps lower the weight a little bit, which is why this unit, again, sits just over 5,000 pounds as it is currently equipped. Double over double bunks in the back. Teddy Bear Bunk series as far as size. I'll hop in here just to give you an idea. So as I said, folks, I'm a 6-foot adult. You can see here I can snuggle up with my pillow. No issues. Plenty of room there. So if you have, some adult friends, not just kids that want to stay the night, you have space for them. Maybe you're going on a hunting or fishing trip, or you're just having like a wine weekend, wherever it may be. This one does have the capability to sleep a couple adults in the back. So make our way into the bathroom. Pretty standard bathroom setup we have here. So if I sit on the toilet, I have plenty of shoulder space, but you'll see my legs, it's not bad. Like I can make this work, but what I always tell people is you have this little bump right here. You can put your feet right up there. You got a built-in squatty potty, right? Definitely manageable, not too bad at all. You get some storage underneath the sink as well as plumbing access. It's a good spot for some extra toilet paper. Sink, countertop, a little bit of countertop space here. So you have a spot for maybe like a toothbrush, not a ton. I don't know. I was thinking maybe they could have extended a little bit here, but it might be cramped getting in and out of the shower. I guess I understand why they didn't. You'll see an electrical outlet. Your tank monitoring panel is in the bathroom. It's always a good thing to know where that is at. And what you'll see is the water heater can run off both gas and electric. You can turn both those on at the same time for faster recovery. Mirrored medicine cabinet up top, tub shower. Again, folks, this is something that's important to me. I'm 6 foot tall. Look at this. I can hang out in the shower. I don't have to duck down, and it's a tub. So if you have littles, it's a lot easier to give them, well, actually, you have the capability to give them a bath, whereas, if it's just a shower unit, you don't. And because it has a higher threshold, a higher wall for the tub, you'll see that the curtain can sit in here so that way you're not splashing as much water all over the place. Hand wand there, a couple of shelves in the corner. And as we come back out, you move into the kitchen. So I'll open this up so you can take a look. You got storage space there. Now, this will have to be kind of multi-purpose based upon what you want or what your needs are. personally, if you were bringing, you know, kids that are going to be camping in the back, or you have friends, whatever it may be, if people are staying in these, you're probably going to want to fill this with clothes. If you don't, if it's just the two of you, that's great. You have additional pantry space, cubby hole up top, nice big fridge freezer. I'll open that up so you can take a look inside. Again, plenty of room inside that one. This unit does run off both propane and electric and also has automatic switchover. Microwave up top with the hood underneath. That hood does have, of course, a light and a fan, as you would expect. The backsplash runs the full length of the countertop. I know I have some people that really like that. It kind of gives a little more of a residential look. A little bit different backsplash rather than going with like a subway tile like a lot of manufacturers are. They almost went with like a metallic basket weave. A little bit different, but you know, it does add kind of an aesthetic element to the kitchen. Fold this up and back. This, of course, is the recessed cooktop. Nice thing about that is when that is down, it gives you prep space. Because with this particular unit, you either have to basically use that as prep space or have sink top covers. But again, at least there is something you can use, and they still give you the full-sized appliance. You do get the 3-burner cooktop rather than like a little 2-burner. The front one, of course, being high output, and the oven underneath if you want to do some baking. Now, when I talk about sink, is again, you know, you can get some sink top covers to sit in here, so you can use this as prep space. I highly recommend doing so. That way, if you are cooking, you still have a place you can prep food. What you'll notice is the stainless steel double bowl here is undermounted. Why that's a big deal is for a couple things. One, it shows that you have an upgraded countertop, because if it's a T-mold countertop, you can't undermount, because then you'd get a bunch of water into the wood and that it would warp, fall apart. Never a good thing. But because this is like a pressed laminate or like a thermal foil countertop, it allows you to undermount the sink like this one is, like this one has. Also, if you are doing some prep work, you can just wipe everything down to the sink, or when you clean up, it's a lot easier to do this. High-rise faucet, so if you do have some bigger you know, pots that are in here, it's a little bit easier to wash and rinse dishes. A window there to let in natural light. Of course, speaking of light, you have LED light there, more storage up top, as well as storage down below, and 2 full extension ball bearing drawers. Always important to have a drawer in the kitchen. You gotta have a place for your flatware and a place for any other goodies like your hot pads, hand towels, things of that nature. More storage above the sofa, and that is right, folks, the sofa itself. That's what's kind of cool about this floor plan. And this is not a super new floor plan, right? There's a lot of manufacturers that make this, and they will do it in some different manners. The biggest difference you will see is this right here. Some manufacturers have the wall here. Some of them do not. Some of them will have a half wall. Some of them, you know, will do like a 3/4 wall. This is where the change comes in. Now, if you remove this wall, it makes the floor plan seem more open. It makes it seem bigger. But by having this, it allows you to have more privacy in the bedroom. It also allows for a full-length door, again, to help with that privacy, and it allows the storage across the top. So it just kind of depends on what you want. I personally, I think I like it this way a little bit more. I like the way it looks without it, but I definitely like the functionality of the wall itself. Now, this sofa is great because it gives you another place to sit rather than just a dinette. And a lot of times, you know, when you have like this layout, this size, you just don't have a sofa. So I like they're able to fit in a campsite dinette, plus still have a sofa. You have a great viewing angle to the TV that I talked about earlier. And this does fold up and drop down into a bed. Although it's not a big bed as an adult, you know, you probably won't be able to sleep there super comfortable. But as a kiddo, you know, just fold it up. Again, a jackknife, fold up, drop down just like that. You got something for a little that works pretty good. Now, if we take a look up into the bedroom, as I mentioned, you see that you get an actual door. So again, you get a little more privacy than a lot of times you will get in this layout. You will see your wardrobe. You have hanging rods on both sides. You have a place to hang your clothes, storage across the top there. This one is pre-wired with the WineGuard Connect 2.0. So if you do want the Wi-Fi extender or LTE, everything's already pre-wired there for it. Of course, you have the Camper Queen bed in the center, nightstands on the side, electrical outlets, USB ports there as well, storage underneath the bed. Open that up for you so you can see that. Good storage space. And then lastly, if you want a TV in the bedroom, that is where the TV is located. The connections for it are right up on the ceiling. On the outside of the BH250, right up front, is a power tongue jack. And folks, this is great when it comes to hooking up or disconnecting from your tow vehicle, because it just makes life so much easier, especially if you're using a weight distribution hitch, which I always do recommend. So all you have to do is simply flip the switch to raise and lower the tongue here. It's a rocker switch, or if you need some added visibility, need some added light at night, you can flip the light on. And as always with any power tongue jack, this one does have manual override in the rare event it fails. That way you're not stuck out at the campsite. Behind that are two 20-pound propane tanks with a cover, rails there for your battery. Coming up the front, diamond plating to help protect that front end from rocks and debris that may get thrown up by your tow vehicle. As we open up the side compartment, we'll take a look inside here, and you'll see this is a full pass-through storage compartment. So big storage. It is completely finished off, including the ceiling, so that if you have some items that are a little bit bigger, you know, they're not catching on like the rafters going across on the studs. You don't have to worry about those things catching. It's easy to slide in and out. Plus it looks nice, and it's the same size door on the other sides. No matter what you put in there, you can access from both sides. Power awning, touch a button to roll that out. Same thing to go back in with an LED light strip underneath. Nice large grab handle. This helps give you some added control when entering or exiting the RV. Now you will see the steps that are on this one. These are the MORryde step above steps, folks. Definitely some upgraded steps, very sturdy. You can see, you know, again, as I mentioned, I'm over 200 pounds. I can hop up and down on these things. They don't flex. You don't get that springboard effect. It has aluminum treads, so that way it doesn't rust, and the grip tape helps you in case it's a little wet, you know, maybe it's the morning or some dew. That grip tape will help you with traction so you don't slip and get hurt. Make our way back a little bit further. If you want outside TV, there's your connections for it. So that way you can hook it up, set up a table, you're good to go. Maybe TV's not your style, but you want to be able to listen to some music. You're covered there as well, because you will see this one has two outside speakers, which are connected to that multimedia center we saw inside, that radio unit there. So that way you can just flip it to this zone and be able to jam out while you're sitting here at your campsite, sipping on your pina colada or whatever else you may have. And then if we take a look in the back, underneath that rear bunk, folks, is additional storage. Always a great thing to have more storage. You can see that's a big exterior storage compartment, and where a lot of travel trailers just don't have a ton of storage, this one certainly helps you out. Now, you may be thinking, I love the storage, but I also want an outside kitchen. That's okay, because if you take a look right here, you'll see this one has a propane quick connect. So that way you can bring your favorite grill, drop it right there, plug it in, it'll feed off those two 20-pound bottles up front. You also notice this one has the tailgate storage system. Nice and simple to use. You just pull the pins on both sides. This does drop down. It's a great way to transport some extra goods, whether you have firewood, you have totes, whatever else you want to have on there. This one can hold up to 200 pounds. Now you do have to take the weight of the tire off there, so just bear that in mind, but it is still excellent storage space. And again, even though you have those two storage compartments, why not have a little more, right? And when you get to your campsite, you can even use this as a pseudo table. I've seen people do that before. They'll drop it down, put something solid on there. You have like a little wood cutout, something like that. You have in your pass-through, pull it out, drop it down. Now you have a table right here in the back. Just some good ideas we've seen, right? Right up top is a backup camera prep. Folks, if you want a backup camera, having that prep does make it a lot cheaper to have it installed because it's already pre-wired. It's essentially a plug and play. So again, if you want the backup camera, having the prep is huge. Right down underneath is your termination. You'll see both your black and gray tank valves located right there. If we drop down, one other thing you will see is that the underbelly, you can kind of see that insulation popping out, right? That underbelly is fully insulated and enclosed, so that way if you plan on camping later into the fall, if it starts to drop just below those freezing temps, having that fully enclosed and heated underbelly will help prevent things from freezing up on you, and also it keeps out a lot of road grime as you're traveling down the road. Your water connections here, so fresh water fill, city water fill, and then right in between is the black tank flush. That way it's easy to wash out your black tank. Just hook a hose up right there instead of having to stick it down your toilet. And then outside shower is located there. So if you need hot or cold water access, you have it. Makes it nice and easy to wash off your feet, the dog, whatever else you need. 4 stabilizer jacks, obviously, on all 4 corners to help stabilize that RV as you're walking around inside. And as I promised, folks, right here is the other side of the pass-through. Couple quick things I want to mention. One is that this one does have a fully covered hinge on here, so that way you don't have a bunch of rust coming down your door. And if you ever need to know weights on any travel trailer, right over here is a good place to find it. So if you're wondering about those calculations, what the GVWR is, this is where you'll find it. On the inside of the door on some models is where you will find that unloaded vehicle weight, cargo carrying capacity. So if you're wondering if you can tow it, we put the specs up online. If you're at a lot, this is where to find it. All right, folks, and that wraps it up. Again, this is the 2021 Heartland Pioneer BH250. If you're interested in this beautiful family model and you would like price and availability, simply click on the link in the description. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.